really jumps off to you on film when you look at their defense?
Well, their linebackers are really both very active, very athletic. And then Isaiah Oliver, I think, is an NFL guy at corner, long. He's made some unbelievable plays for impressed man, some interceptions and some things like that. So I've been impressed by their athleticism. They all move well, their whole defense. So we got to get a hat on a hat, that's for sure.
I feel like people felt like their defense was going to fall off with Levitt having left and a bunch of guys going to the NFL, but it really hasn't been the case. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think a lot of the guys that are playing now, if they weren't starters, they were key players and played a lot, so they have experience. And then, they did a neat thing. They kept the same schemes, which they just changed the coordinator. I mean, there's a little bit of a change on certain things, but it's pretty much the same stuff.
How much do you come across Colorado when you guys are recruiting?
A little bit, but not as much as we do the LA schools, and that we don't. We've recruited a guy or two in Colorado, but we haven't been in that state as a primary area. So we'll run into them probably a little bit more now because they've always done Texas, and we're into Texas a little bit too.
Well, it's been 5 years since Kadeem had his 360-yard game against Colorado. What do you remember about that game?
Oh well, the fact what he just went off.
Yeah.
I think it was a phenomenal performance, and we played really well up front. It was as well as we've ever played. I think with the running game. I think it was BJ the quarterback.
It was BJ's first start. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
BJ
fumbled
played
the first
well.
handoff.
I got to remind him of that. See, I forgot about that. But yeah, we were nervous because of BJ's first start, and we were hoping Kadeem could get going. He was just unbelievable that day.
So Colorado's 0-2 in the Pac-12, and they're kind of seem like a desperate team coming into this game. Would you rather play a team that's kind of coming off a win and feeling good about itself, or would you
I think we're probably both desperate from that standpoint. You can win, as we know, you can win the division with 2 losses, and maybe even 3 tie the division, but in particular in this kind of year. So, but you certainly don't. The games are so important, especially in interdivision games. So I think both teams are going to have a sense of urgency, I would think.
How do you feel like J.J. Taylor has played so far this season?
He's played well. We haven't gotten him loose as much on certain things just because of the way teams are either playing us or taking away the tailback options of it. But he and Nick are 2 really explosive guys, and we've got to try to get JJ as many touches as we can. And he can play the slot too, so we can move him around a little bit.
Do you think that fumble of his was kind of a fluky play based on the way his body was turned around?
Well, it wasn't really fluky. It was a little. The ball was a little high, which is normally for him. He's usually got great fundamentals, but sometimes when you're spinning or moving around, the ball can get a little high on you, and usually the fumbles occur from the hits you don't see, and I think that was one of the cases with that.
You alluded to some scout team guys maybe having a bigger role after the bye week. Did you see progress from any of those guys?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as maybe to move a guy into 2 deep or regular rotation, but there's still some freshmen that probably before the year's out that haven't played yet that'll probably play a little bit.
When something like the Las Vegas shooting happens and you have guys on your team who are from Las Vegas, do you kind of say, hey, if you guys need time to deal with anything, go ahead? Do they come to you?
Yeah, I think it's like Vegas is such a big tourist city anyway. You think, I wondered if our guys had friends or people they knew that were at the concert. Because 20-some thousand people, odds are somebody knew something maybe, and I hadn't heard anything about that. Like I said, the one tragic situation with the U of A grad, a young lady, which is, it's just unfathomable to think that somebody would do that. I mean, a cowardly, senseless act. And, like I said, our players, I didn't hear them talk about anybody they knew there or the guys from Vegas, but it's tragic for all the folks that were affected.
What challenges did you face in 2015 coming off winning the Pac-12 South? As far as getting the guys back in focus.
The expectations and all that were all good. I was glad they were high. We got, I think that was the year when we lost 4 or 5 middle linebackers in a hurry, and it was a freaky year with that. I think our guys battled. We played average a lot of times, but they never gave up and hung on there and won the bowl at the end. But it was a strange year. Last year a little bit too, but that was a strange year as far as some freaky things happen with guys getting injured and you know, not playing as well as we could at certain games, certainly.
Is it at all hard to motivate the guys coming off of that season, coming off the 10-win year?
No, it should have been easier. You know, they had a little taste of it. So what I remember, that the preparation was good, but it was like, oh gosh, you know, it's like every other day something would happen in a freaky thing in practice, whatever, and you know, affect the depth chart. But I don't, you know, I never thought they lost focus or quit trying hard. But certainly, I've reviewed everything that year and certainly everything from last year to see what we can do better.